So I'm hopping on here today because I'd like to do a general message for the month of August 2021. So it's hard to believe that we're into our 8th month of 2021. COVID is still existing, and it feels like that's going to be going on for a bit of time. And I don't think we're ever really going to be the same, are we? So I do feel like there's the first thing that's coming up specifically are there are people who are really working on their nervous systems, okay? So when I think about your nervous system, I think about someone who they need more grounding in their life. They need to eat things that are healthy for their body, that sort of thing. So everybody's body is just a tiny bit different. Okay, so some people might need mint because mint is very cooling if you run on the hot side. So if you don't know what your doshas are, there are 3 doshas. You might want to look those up because they really help teach you, according to seasons and your energy, what would be best for you. Okay. So say hello if you're watching, and Ant is the first card that comes up, 32. Okay, and this is talking to me about. Obviously, patience is a representation of ants. We tend to see them and want to squish them, and we kind of like rush to kill them. I don't know if you feel that way, but I do. So there's that feeling of judgment when we're moving too quickly. So if you can do anything this month to slow down, slow the process of life down, that's going to be really helpful, as I was just saying, with more that peaceful grounding aspect, okay? Because the nervous system is calling us in. Our nervous systems, not only are they overstimulated by, all the health issues that have been happening, but they get overstimulated when we are on the phone, when we're eating chemicals, when we're around and exposed to chemicals. So your nervous system's going to be like naturally a bit wobbly. So we have to balance that, right? So things that we can balance energy with are, of course, chakra clearing, chakra cleansing, working more with the meridian lines, things like that. We can pull energy, so we can ask to release things that have been bothering us, that sort of thing. So we get into the energy of squirrel and 2-6. So right away, I get this feeling like we have to start taking action for the future. Okay, so if we're not thinking ahead, you might be in a not in such a great place later. So this tells me that it's time to start planning. And if you're worrying about the future, so you have anxiety, this is completely different. This is about planning for the future, not worrying about the future. It's about thinking ahead about, if I want to make $50,000 in the next 6 months, then I have to start putting that energy out there and start focusing on what it is that I need for myself as well, okay? So if we put the squirrel and the ant here together, we kind of think about differences. We might have differences of opinions, especially when we talk about COVID and vaccinations, things like that. And that's what I'm getting from this is focus on your direction, where you want to go, and focus less on what everybody else needs and what everybody else wants. So it's okay to care about how other people feel, but what you're going to be finding is it's extra important to learn how to gravitate towards the right things, the right people. So if you're not working on manifesting currently, I would recommend learning what manifesting means and how that works. Got a barking dog. All right, owl. 21. Okay, so this is actually a beautiful animal. They tend to come out at certain times. So that's telling me that timing is really important in August. If you're focusing too much on structure, it doesn't feel healthy. It feels like we really have to connect to our visions for what it is that we want. Okay? The other thing too is if you're eating, for some reason this is coming up, like canned foods, and you're not even enjoying the food that you're eating, why are you eating it? You might be finding that you're eating a lot of processed foods or things that, say you're eating foods that last a really long time, that's a good sign you shouldn't be eating them. You want to eat foods that maybe they don't last past a few days, okay? So that's just what the energy is saying. Keep in mind it's different for everybody. But the number 21 on the owl is telling us that partnerships are going to be significant as well. It feels like partnerships are going to be shifting. So if this is your love life, it might mean that you're changing your mind about the person that you're with. Hi, buddy. Or you're changing the energy of how you want the relationship to be. So it's not going to be the way that it was anymore. Okay. I still feel like going back into the element of ant. I'm also going to be doing sign readings for each element. And so I'm not going to go through all 12 signs, but I am going to categorize them based on the elements. Okay, so that's something that you'll be able to look into for August. And of course, I've already done this for July as well. So go onto my YouTube channel, check out what I've already done underneath the astrological sign readings and monthlies. So this is also talking about food. Food. It's okay to also have fun and treat yourself. So don't be too anal when it comes to food, because if you start to get anal, you're going to lose the feeling of protection and safety, because now you're going to start be creating your own problem. And that's a big issue with people with diet and weight loss or weight gain, whatever it is for you, whatever your issue is. We tend to fluctuate a lot. And the reason for this is because we're not coming from our hearts, right? We're not necessarily eating from our heart space. And I know this might sound weird for some people because they just follow Canada's food guide, but it's super important that you're tuning in to what your heart wants food-wise. And also, being in the earth more, digging in the earth will also be really, really helpful, because it's about you becoming more a part of nature. Often we'll bring plants inside and crystals inside. This is not talking about this. This is like get outside, touch the trees, smell the flowers, smell the breeze, feel the ocean air, whatever it is for you, whatever it is that you enjoy or you dream of. Really breathe that energy in. And the other thing too is I'm getting an image of a hammock. So it might be for you just like sleeping outside. You know, sometimes the bugs can be bad, but just focusing more on, yeah, like I'm just getting this image of, actually, we like to go to a place here in New Brunswick that is right on the ocean. It's almost like a tropical island. I'll have to take pictures and post them. But when we camp, it's basically we're just camping out, like very just out in the ocean. And we might sleep in the back of the truck or something like that. But we're pretty much like laying out there and looking at the stars. So that's kind of what I'm getting. It's just being more in that feeling and that element. So I'm definitely going to do that in August. So if you have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, just watch all the videos that I have, July, August. I've also have done previous ones as well. So be sure to tune into those. And I'm going to start doing the sign readings for fire next. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for subscribing as well.